Okay, welcome to the graphing section of this polynomial unit. We have two parent functions that we need to be paying attention to. So we have the cubic. This is our odd function. So we have an odd exponent. This is going to represent all odd polynomials. So like we looked at that first day, all of these odd polynomials are going to make that similar shape. Okay. The thing that I will point to now is we can actually determine how many of these humps these curves should have. Okay. So what we do is we look at the exponent and we say, hey, there's 3 here. That's the lead exponent, right? Who cares what's going on the other side? So I take the lead exponent and I say, okay, it's 3. 3 take away 1 is 2. So this function should have 2 changes of direction. So increasing, change to decreasing, change back to increasing. So see how there's 2 changes in a cubic? So if there was, a quartic over here, 4. So 4 take away 1 is 3. So 1, 2, 3 humps or 3 changes in the graph. So an odd polynomial, x to the 5th, would have 4 wiggles. X to the 7th would have 6 wiggles, okay? So what we have to do is we have to try to graph these based on their zeros. So what we're going to do is we're going to memorize these pictures, and we're going to know that cubic functions start at negative infinity and then head upwards, where quartic functions are always headed up, okay? Okay, so let's talk about these end behaviors. So all odd polynomials will have the same end behavior. So as I send my x to the right, not sure why that's happening. Okay, as I send my x to the right, the f of x is going to go to infinity. That's better. So as I send my x to the left, okay, this function goes down. And that's because odd functions, remember, have different end behaviors. So see how 1 goes to infinity, 1 goes to negative infinity. All odd polynomials will have different end behaviors, and you'll have to write them in 2 lines like I just did. Even polynomials, on the other hand, they can be written in 1 line because we know even polynomials have the same end behavior. So it doesn't matter if I send this guy to positive or negative infinity, okay? I'm always going to go up. Okay, so I'm always going to have the same end behavior. I go up. So now if there's a negative in front of an odd polynomial, then I switch these two, right? Then the negative happens on the right side, and the positive would happen on the left side. If it's a negative over here on an even polynomial, I'll just make this part negative. So first thing you got to know about graphing polynomials is you have to memorize your parent function. So you got to memorize these pictures. And you got to know that this works for all evens, this works for all odds. And all I got to do is if I want to throw a negative in front, then I'm going to switch the arrow directions, right? So this arrow will point down, this arrow will point up. These 2 arrows were pointing up, so if I throw a negative in front, they would have to point down, okay? That's the basics.